What's up, upstanders? Dr. O here. And the NBA and as basketball in general has always been my favorite sport. It was one sport I was, really good at growing up. On the low, I don't know if it's in my bio, but I actually did try to go out for the NBA through the D League, and now the G League didn't really work out. I'm here. It's all good. It's all good. But it was on the bucket list, and I did it. And yeah, but I've always just loved the NBA, not one as an athlete, and then also because of the activism of the athletes. Coming out of the eras of people like the Bill Russells and the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars and so on and so forth. I always felt like more so than the other sports, it had one of the stronger histories of social justice. Of course, there were other people, the Kurt Floods that are like in different sports who are activists. I'm not Jackie Robinson, of course, not saying that didn't exist. I'm saying it's one thing I appreciated that the sport I loved also was connected to activism. And this is something that I've seen come in through the new millennium with these new players. When I saw how the basketball players got rid of the LA Clippers owner, during the Black Lives Matter protests, and a lot of these athletes from LeBron James to D Wade, Kevin Durant, all of these guys have been committed in some way, shape, or form to social justice efforts, whether it's to actually speaking up on issues in politics and voting, to actually building things in community centers across the country and supporting the communities that they come from. Their activism has always been very strong in America. Their activism for issues that are going on in this country has always been great but their activism for what's happening across the globe has been minimal to nothing. And this is primarily problematic right now for the purposes of this video as it relates to Congo and the Sudan. So many people talking about NBA Africa and how the NBA is partnering with Africans and African governments to get more opportunities for players to come and be in the league and so on and so forth. And there's truth to that. But this is primarily being done through working with Paul Kagame, who is responsible for genocide in Congo in the past, and through his M23 rebel group now, are also responsible for an increasing genocide in Congo right now. Paul Kagame has been the darling of the United States, and he's also been the darling of Adam Silver and the NBA. You've seen him at basketball games sitting front row. I remember at a Golden State Warriors playoffs game, front row. And he's working with, Masai Ujiri, on building basketball Africa. When confronted by this in ESPN and the like, Masai say things like, "Oh, well, we're helping Africans, build better futures." Yeah, individuals versus what the thousands, hundreds of thousands who are dying and being displaced by this man who is committing genocide and acts of genocide in the past and working on a genocide right now. Then we take it over to Sudan. Anyone watch the Emirates Cup? Anyone pay attention to that? I didn't. But when the Emirates Cup, the UAE, United Arab Emirates, people talk so much about, the beautiful planes and all the other type of stuff. They're supporting genocide in Sudan by supporting the RSF, which has led to massive famine, which has led to massive displacement. A hospital that got bombed, killing over 70 people just last week. And yet the NBA now has the Emirates Cup. And of course, the United Emirates and Saudi Arabia and other countries are flexing their influence across the globe. This is a problem. It's a problem for me in terms of just seeing a sport that I love do this, but more so a problem for the people on the ground. My parents being Congolese, and of course being African descent with Sudan. Why is the NBA supporting this? Why are the players supporting this? And large population of Sudan is Muslim. Why are people like Kyrie Irving and Jaylen Brown, like why are they not saying anything about these types of things? That's a problem. It's a real problem. And I first saw this during the Olympics. Was it 2004, 2008? I forget. Might have been '08. The ones that were in China. And, there were athletes who were talking about boycotting and stuff. But when people went to China, said nothing about the conditions there that people were working in and the like. And so as much as I love what these players have been about domestically, their action or lack of inaction or lack of knowledge about what's going on internationally has been very problematic. But the NBA itself, the leadership, the Adam Silvers, the owners, and so on and so forth, they are partnering with individuals and leaders of governments that are sponsoring genocide of other black people. And I don't care if one of the greatest players to ever play in the NBA comes out of Rwanda or comes out of Sudan or comes out of Congo. If it's done through NBA Africa, it's done in partnership with organizations that are sponsoring genocide. And right now, Rwanda controls about the size of Congo that is pretty much equal to the same size of Rwanda. So it's like doubling its growth right now. Where y'all at, NBA? Where y'all at, activists? Where y'all at, leaders? But no, you want to throw the Emirates in our. Where's the fact-based journalism? Where are the people calling this out? People should be putting cameras and microphones in front of every NBA owner, every NBA coach, asking them what's going on. I feel like if some of these players knew what was going on, they would speak up. Maybe not all, but some. I know some could care about the contracts and the like, but for a sport I loved and still love. I mean, I'm never going to not love basketball. This is a sport that's becoming more difficult to watch and support in any way, shape, or form. And we should not be partnering. When I say we, I mean the United States, but organizations like the NBA should not be partnering with governments and leaders who sponsor genocide, disappear people, commit rape and massive atrocities, bomb hospitals, and do so much more. So United Arab Emirates and the Rwandan government should not be NBA partners. They should not be U.S. partners. But here we are. You let me know what you think and what we should be doing about it. Peace.